In the previous module, we considered the ways that music can directly support or indirectly allude to an explicit dramatic scenario. When music deliberately illustrates a specific narrative, we call it program music, to distinguish it from music that exists strictly as abstract patterns of sounds, or absolute music, with no such external storyline. With an opera or a concert overture, the crisply defined plot and characters help to focus our ideas and simplify our task of interpreting how the drama influences our perception of the music, and vice versa. In this module, we turn to relationships between music and ideas that are not so neatly delineated. What if there are no named dramatis personae? What if there's no specific dialogue or stage action? What if we are dealing instead with vaguely bounded sets of ideas, such as an unnamed archetypal hero with no particular time or place, no specific heroic action by which to make sense of the abstract sounds? What if the division between program music and absolute music turns out to be a fuzzy boundary, in which we must listen intently to the musical sounds in order to fill in the missing details of the narrative? Or conversely, in which we must grasp for narrative ideas in order to make sense of the overwhelming power of ostensibly abstract musical sounds. For biographical context of Beethoven's Third Symphony, we will examine the complex reality that underlies the traditional story about Beethoven dedicating his Third Symphony to Napoleon Bonaparte. We will return to the different ideas of the heroic in Beethoven's time, including those that arise from neoclassicism in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. This will lead us to examine the influence of classical Roman history and literature on Napoleon's myth-making and on Beethoven's. Turning from the Romans to the Romantics, we will survey the sensibility that embraced Beethoven's middle period music and helped to secure him a permanent place in the cultural pantheon of the 19th century. In particular, we will focus on two of the major early German Romantic writers, Ernst Theodor Amadeus Hoffmann and Friedrich Schiller. In our study of Beethoven's music, in this module we will focus on two of his great middle period symphonies. Beethoven himself called his Symphony No. 3 in E-flat major a heroic symphony, providing the label that critics and historians later applied to his entire middle style period. We will examine the musical features that make the Eroica a landmark of the symphonic genre, with or without Napoleon, or more precisely, the legend of Napoleon. We will then immerse ourselves in Beethoven's Symphony No. 5 in C minor, and consider how it achieves its profound musical and emotional impact. This isn't just a matter of linking it to poetic ideas. Rather, there are some specific technical features we can point to, including the music's tendency to break from the normal symphonic template with more improvisatory gestures of fantasia, and its inclusion of intense fugato passages, that is, short fugue-like sections that briefly project a complex polyphonic fugal texture, but without committing to a full-length fugue. Lastly, we will survey the general characteristics of the other symphonies that Beethoven wrote during his middle style period, including the most explicitly programmatic, his Symphony No. 6 in F major, the Pastoral. Alas, time is short, so we will not study these other symphonies in detail within the work of this course.